My sister was the maid of honor at my wedding. She held my dress while I peed, cried happy tears with me, gave a speech about eternal love. 2 months later, my husband's phone lit up with a text from her. "I miss your hands." I scrolled. There were months of messages, some sent while we were on our honeymoon. I printed every screenshot and mailed them to her job, her apartment, and her boyfriend. Then I called a family dinner and said, "Tonight's main course?" Truth. Growing up, my sister Kelsey and I were close. Real close. We shared everything. Secrets, clothes, even stupid little crushes when we were kids. She was my built-in best friend. When James proposed to me on the beach in Charleston, Kelsey was the first person I called. She screamed so loud I thought she might wake the whole neighborhood. She helped me plan the wedding. Picked out flower colors, cake flavors, the works. She even stayed up with me the night before, when I couldn't sleep because I was too nervous. She painted my nails and made me tea. She said, "Tomorrow, you marry the love of your life. You're the luckiest woman alive." She cried at my wedding. I mean, big, snotty, happy tears. She held my dress when I had to pee before the ceremony. She hugged me so tight, I thought my ribs might break. She gave a maid of honor speech that made everyone in the room tear up. Talked about how I deserved eternal love. Said James and I were proof that soulmates exist. 2 months later, I found out she had been sleeping with my husband behind my back. It happened on a stupid night. A stupid, regular night. James and I were sitting on the couch watching Chopped of all things. He had one of those cheap beers he liked, and he dozed off with his head against the cushion. His phone lit up. I didn't mean to snoop. I really didn't, but the preview caught my eye. It was from Kelsey. "I miss your hands." At first, my brain refused to believe what my eyes were reading. I stared at the screen, blinking like it would change. My heart started hammering so hard I thought I might faint. My hands were cold, but sweaty. I picked up the phone. My thumb hovered over it. His passcode was the same as it always had been. Our wedding date. I opened it. I wish I could erase what I saw. There were months of messages. Months. Some going back to before our wedding. Some sent while we were lying on a beach in Maui during our honeymoon. While I was gushing about how perfect everything was, they were texting each other disgusting things. Flirty jokes. Private pictures. Inside jokes about me. About how clueless I was. About how good it felt to sneak around. At some point I stopped reading, but I couldn't look away. My hands scrolled on their own. At one point, Kelsey wrote, "I wish it were me in that white dress." James replied, "It should have been." I sat there all night frozen, watching my husband breathe softly next to me. Watching the man I promised to love forever look peaceful, like he hadn't shattered everything inside me. I didn't wake him up. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I planned. The next day, I got to work. I took screenshots of every single message, every photo, every call log. I bought a printer. One of those heavy-duty office ones. I printed it all. It filled 2 entire reams of paper. I made 3 sets. Neat, stapled, labeled. One for her job. One for her apartment. One for her boyfriend, Jason. Jason was a good guy. Quiet, dependable. He didn't deserve to be a punchline in their little affair. Once the packets were mailed, I texted my parents. "Family dinner at my house Sunday. It's important." Kelsey was the first to reply. "Can't wait." It made me sick. Sunday came. I made dinner. Something basic. Chicken casserole. Garlic bread. Salad. James came into the kitchen and kissed me on the cheek like everything was fine. Kelsey showed up wearing a sunny yellow dress, carrying a bottle of wine. Jason was there too, holding her hand. The whole room was warm, full of fake laughter and clinking silverware. My parents chatted about retirement plans. Kelsey giggled about her new promotion. James smiled like the charming asshole he always pretended to be. I waited until everyone had eaten. Plates half full. wine glasses sweating on the table. Then I stood up. I picked up my wine glass and tapped it with my fork. Everyone turned and smiled. I smiled too, but it hurt my face. Tonight's main course? I said. Truth. I pulled out a thick folder and dropped it onto the middle of the table with a loud slap. My mom frowned. My dad leaned back in his chair. Jason opened the folder first. His eyes moved fast across the first page, then the second. His face drained of color. What the hell is this? Jason whispered. Kelsey stood up so fast her chair screeched across the floor. Wait, I can explain, I laughed. A loud, ugly laugh. Explain what? Which part? The sex during my wedding reception? The dirty pictures you sent while I was trying on my dress. My mom put a hand over her mouth. Tears welled in her eyes. My dad's hands balled into fists on the table. James tried to talk. It wasn't serious. I stared at him, dead in the eyes. You texted my sister on our honeymoon that you wished it was her you married. He opened his mouth, closed it again. Jason threw the folder across the table. Pages spilled everywhere. He stood up and pointed at Kelsey, shaking. You're disgusting, he said. His voice cracked. He left without another word. Kelsey started crying. Loud, ugly sobs. She reached for me. I stepped back. Don't touch me, I said. My voice was so cold even I barely recognized it. My mom was crying now too, quietly. My dad just sat there, staring at his hands. James looked around like he was trapped. I'm sorry, he said. We can fix this. I shook my head. You two deserve each other, I said. I hope you rot. Then I grabbed my keys, my purse, and I walked out of my own house. I didn't even look back. After I walked out of that dinner, I thought it was done. I thought they would both crawl away and leave me alone. I was wrong. The next morning, I woke up to 47 missed calls. James, Kelsey, my mom. Jason even called once. I didn't answer a single one. I went to a hotel across town and stayed there for a few days. I needed space. I needed to figure out what the hell my life was supposed to look like now. One night, while I was at the hotel, my phone buzzed again. It was an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. When I listened, it was Kelsey. She was sobbing so hard she could barely talk, saying how sorry she was, how it just happened and she never meant to hurt me. Then she said something that made my blood go cold. I don't think I can live without him. She hung up. I stared at the phone for a long time. Was she threatening to hurt herself? Was she trying to guilt me? I didn't know. I didn't care. At that point, it felt like another way to trap me. Another way to make this about her. I didn't call her back. A few days later, my mom called me from a blocked number. I almost didn't pick up, but something in my gut told me I should. When I answered, she was crying. Sweetheart, you need to come home, she said. Why? I asked, my voice flat. Kelsey's missing. Apparently, after Jason broke up with her and my whole family turned their backs, she lost it. Stopped showing up to work. Stopped answering calls. Left her apartment a wreck. My parents were freaking out. They wanted me to help find her. I didn't want to. God, I didn't want to. But some sick part of me still felt responsible. She was my sister. Even after everything, I agreed to meet them at her place. When I got there, the door was unlocked. Her apartment smelled like sour wine and old takeout. The place was a mess. Clothes everywhere. Dishes piled in the sink. I found her phone tossed on the couch. Dead battery. We searched for hours. Called hospitals. Called police. Nothing. Around midnight, I found her. She was sitting in her car, parked at the old playground where we used to go as kids. She had a bottle of vodka in her lap. I knocked on the window. She looked up at me, her eyes swollen and red. When she opened the door, she didn't say a word. She just started crying. I sat next to her on the curb. Neither of us spoke for a long time. Finally, she whispered, I ruined everything. I didn't argue. I didn't comfort her. I just nodded. Because she did. After that night, everything changed again. Kelsey moved back in with my parents. She started therapy. She lost her job. Jason blocked her on everything. James? He kept texting me. Kept calling. Left voicemails saying he was broken without me. That he made a mistake. That he loved me. He even showed up at my hotel one night, banging on the door. I called the front desk and had them kick him out. I blocked his number. Filed for divorce the next morning. But just when I thought it couldn't get worse, it did. 1 week before our divorce was supposed to be finalized, James showed up at my parents' house. Not for me. For Kelsey. They were together. Hand in hand. They stood there on my parents' front porch like it was normal. Like they hadn't burned down everything. My mom fainted right there in the hallway. My dad told them to get the hell off the property. I stood at the top of the stairs, watching them. Watching my sister cling to my soon-to-be ex-husband. She saw me. Her face crumbled. She tried to let go of his hand. But he didn't let go of hers. That was the moment I realized she wasn't sorry she betrayed me. She was sorry she got caught. They deserved each other. Two broken, selfish people clinging to each other because no one else wanted them. And I deserved better. After seeing them together on my parents' front porch, something in me snapped. It wasn't sadness anymore. It wasn't heartbreak. It was rage. Pure, cold rage. They didn't even have the decency to hide it. They flaunted it, like I was supposed to get over it. Like I was the problem for not moving on fast enough. I decided if they were going to act shameless, I'd treat them the same way. The first thing I did was call Jason. He had been laying low since the dinner blow-up, but when I explained what happened, James and Kelsey parading around like a happy couple, he was just as disgusted as I was. "I'm in," he said, without me even having to ask. We made a plan. You see, Jason owned a small business. A photography studio in town. Kelsey had modeled for his studio before. She had signed a basic release form for some portfolio shots. Jason still had dozens of high-quality, flattering photos of her. He also had the original signed contract she had forgotten all about. And now? He decided to use them. One afternoon, a new advertisement went up all over town. Billboards. Facebook ads. Flyers. Kelsey's smiling face. Need a model? Contact Kelsey, last name, for all your personal needs. Available for weddings, parties, and anything else. Winking face, her real phone number was listed. Within hours, she was blowing up my phone. She knew it was me. She knew it had to be Jason too. She left screaming voicemails, sobbing voicemails, threats, begging. Some in the same minute. I didn't answer a single one. Neither did Jason. The fallout was brutal. She lost whatever was left of her reputation in town. Clients who used to hire her for event planning dropped her. Her Facebook and Instagram blew up with nasty comments. Even her old college friends turned on her. James? He stuck around through some of it. Tried to defend her. But a month later, a friend of mine spotted him at a bar. Flirting with someone new. Apparently, eternal love only lasted until Kelsey became a problem instead of a secret. But I wasn't done yet. While cleaning out our old house, I found James' old laptop. He had forgotten to wipe it. Rookie mistake. In it, there were folders of files. Photos, documents, receipts, everything. Including evidence that he had been skimming money from his old job. Little transactions. Nothing big enough to notice individually, but when I added it up, it was clear he had stolen thousands. He was already on thin ice with his employer. So, I printed it all. Anonymously mailed it to his boss. 3 weeks later, James was fired. Not just fired, blacklisted. The kind of firing where people strongly suggest you move out of town. And he did. He left. Alone. Without a job. Without me. Without the family he tried to rip apart. Meanwhile, Kelsey stayed. But her life was small now. Pathetic. She worked nights at a crappy diner outside town. She rented a sad little studio apartment. The same people who used to praise her now whispered about her behind her back. She still tried to text me sometimes. Little messages like, "Can we meet for coffee? I miss you. Please, can we start over?" I never replied. I never would. I wasn't healing because I forgave them. I was healing because I left them exactly where they belonged. In the past, rotting in the mess they made together. And I was moving forward. Without them.